Tintin XL 92.5 FM.
All right. The new drug today is we're one day closer to the Sweet 16. We'll certainly talk about that coming up today on the program.
It feels like it's taking forever. Or do you feel that way?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, I don't know why, because it's just Sunday to Thursday. But it feels like we've been, I don't know, for whatever reason, it feels like I'm waiting forever for Florida and Maryland to play.
One of the guys, I don't remember who it was, maybe the Barstool Big Cat guy, one of the guys said, Monday's the worst day, this past Monday's the worst day of the year. He said, because they give you all this great hoops, and you go and Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, and you're grinding and you're battling and you're scrapping and clawing and you're betting and you're losing and you're yelling and you're cussing and you're drinking, and all of a sudden Monday comes.
Maybe that's it.
And maybe that's what he said.
It's 4 great days and then
nothing for 3.
Yeah, but I wouldn't think Sunday to Thursday would be like, boy, this feels like it feels like sometimes like with a football game, I get this where it's like, gosh, can we just get to the but yeah, it's getting close. We're almost there, but can't wait.
So no question about it. So we'll certainly talk today all about the game. We'll talk about it tomorrow as we preview the game. But Florida, Maryland, interesting game. Two good teams, two teams that are having better years than they've had in a long time now. So we'll certainly talk a great deal about that coming up today on the program. That'll be obviously throughout the course of the week, I suppose. That'll be sort of the lead stories. We'll certainly talk about that coming up on the program today. Hardball's right around the corner. JJ, you excited? You ready?
I am. We got a double header, me and you. I guess it's the same time, 4 o'clock tomorrow.
4:10 start.
We will both be paying attention, I'm sure, strictly on our show and at work.
Yeah, well, here's what I'll tell you. I would imagine you're not the only person on the planet interested in the Braves. I might be the only person on the planet interested in the Pirates, just so you know that.
Livy Dunn.
Yeah. Now, if Paul Skeens can't beat the Miami Marlins, the one team that might be worse, so I'm going to count that as a win tomorrow. I mean, we're going to win tomorrow, wouldn't you think? Is Sandy Alcantara healthy and ready to go?
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would imagine this is a quick, hour and 59-minute game.
It will be. Yeah, 1-0 final when a shortstop boots one is what you're going to have. So we will talk about that.
You were pretty good last year. I don't remember any iPad throws last year.
At some point you mature.
Yeah.
Okay. I
was disappointed.
65 might be my that might be it. But I listen. We're going to get to our 74, whether you like it or not. Okay, whether the rest of baseball likes it or not, we're going to win tomorrow, and we're going to win 73 more times. Yeah. I've got a buddy my buddy Eric, who's an attorney in town. He's a diehard Pirates fan. He's from Pittsburgh, and he sent out in this group text. It's got like 20 people on it. Okay, it's got 20 diehard Pirates fans, and I'm on it. And it's like this little bet we all have, like a pool. Bet the number of wins, and whoever gets the closest wins the little pool. Okay,
nice.
20 Pirates fans. Nobody predicted a winning record. I mean, really? Diehard fans of the team. They're all trying to win the pool. So not one person.
What was the highest win total?
I take it back. Let me correct myself. I did see an 82. So there was an 82 and 80. Okay?
One game above 500.
But I'll tell you what. Let me pull it up. Eric, if you're listening, you'll probably appreciate this. You're getting some airtime here. Let me. I'm going to pull them all up. Hang on one second. Here we go. All right. 60. He did 66 wins. I did 72. I take it back. There's an 85 on. No, I take it back. I was wrong. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's about 15 on here. There's an 85. There's 2 82s, and one soul said 87. Okay. That person
he's not going to win.
That person has as much chance to win as I do a 2-hand tomahawk dunk. Okay, and that
was the lowest.
Eric 66.
66.
Yeah.
He'll do better than that.
He'll do. So
I would imagine. You got a hell of a sports day tomorrow. I mean, like that game.
Oh, I know. How about? Really.
If it's like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, then you'll have like an hour to dinner or whatever leading up to the Gator game.
Exactly right. So that'll be fantastic.
And the Gator game is the second one of the night. Bama BYU starts like 30 minutes prior.
Yeah, and we're 7:39. Right.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
So you get a little taste of. Bama BYU.
I'll be ready. I'll be locked in. I've got a bunch of buddies at the Jack's Golf. Well, my one buddy, Eric Gedemy, who owns Coyle & Sons Fence Company, one of our sponsors. He's a Maryland guy. So we had breakfast this morning, and he wore the Maryland shirt, and I told him we're going to whip that ass. And so he's got a bunch of guys together that are going to go up to the club and watch the game tomorrow night. He said, "You going to come?" I said, "Not a chance." I'm watching that by myself.
Right.
Okay. The truth is, my wife's not much of a basketball fan, so she won't be in there. But I'm not sure she's invited to the living room. Okay. So
Wow.
I got to lock in. I got work to do. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, listen, I'm not playing around tomorrow night. We're trying to beat the Terps.
Yeah, Derek Queen.
Okay.
He's a tall order to stop.
Derek Queen gets loose, you know. You got to be careful of that. Last night, the Florida State game, what a finish. What a finish. It's not a particularly good, it's a close game, but neither team's doing much. FSU leads 3-2. You know how the whole game went, right? FSU leads 3-2, and the Florida's the visiting team, FSU the home team. They're in the top of the ninth. Okay? Top of the ninth. Florida's got a guy on second, maybe a guy on first. I think it was a guy on first. 2 outs, 3-2 count. They're one pitch away from FSU winning the game. Florida guy hits the double, ties the game. Okay? Next guy comes up. He was the 8-hole batter. The 9-hole batter comes up. 2 strikes again. Little blooper to center field. Drops in. Gators take the lead. The Gators had 1 hit until the 9th inning. 1. Wow. In a college baseball game, the Gators had 1 hit until the 9th inning. That's how good.
That's all we got?
1. I know he's listening anyway.
Yeah.
So the one hit, blooper into center field. That was funny. So all of a sudden the Gators are ahead 4-3. So the Gators bring in the closer, Philpott, loads the bases. A run comes in, so it's now 4-4. Alex Lodies comes up, and you know the story by now. Alex Lodies, who's from here, who already had a single, double, and a triple in the game, hits an opposite field granny to win it, and they win 8-4. Walk-off granny. Think about this if you're Alex Lodies. You hit for the cycle. You hit a walk-off granny to beat your arch rival in your hometown.
Pretty sweet.
Is that a pretty good day?
That's a 10 out of 10.
I mean, that's about a 12 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's about that. So congratulations to Alex Lodies. I posted this on Twitter right afterwards. I knew Billy and Cindy, his parents, before they were dating. I knew them before they were married. I've known them. Cindy is a real good friend of some of our really close family friends. So I said, this is how old I've gotten. It's the first time I've ever covered or talked about a player. I know a lot of players that I know their parents. I'm old enough now that I know a lot of players' parents. But there's not many that I knew their parents before they were married. That's how old I've gotten. Okay, I knew his parents, but he is a wonderful player. He's a big leaguer now. Alex Lodies, I saw him hitting the Cape last year. He's hitting like 475.
I was going to say, I mean, he's
475.
That's absurd.
Yeah, and we're halfway through the season.
Right,
It's not
and
like
they play a tough schedule.
Yeah, yes, they do. It's not like he just got off to this good start.
Right.
He's hitting 475. He's a really good shortstop. He's not a guy. He's got a big arm, so he's not a guy that's got to move to another position. He will be a big league. I mean, he will be really good. I mean, he might be Buster Posey good now. I mean, this J.D. Drew good. I should say Buster Posey, but Buster Posey's going to the Hall of Fame. You get my point. Alex Lodies is going to be a really good player. I mean, really good. You hate it for UNF because he went to UNF. Tim Parrington signed him there, and God rest his soul. And then played. You know, in the portal era, you have one good year at a mid-major, you go to a big major, and you went to a really good one at FSU. So, congratulations to the Noles. But what a fan! I was not there when it ended because I watched half of it. But then I say half of it, 3 innings. But then Inglewood and Wolfson were playing at our ballpark. So, and that's a kind of traditional game. Obviously, Inglewood-Wolfson, big rivalry. So anyway, but what a night for Alex Lodies. Congratulations to him and to the Noles. It was a heartbreaker for the Gators. What a great crowd that you saw it.
Oh, yeah.
Great night. The ballpark. We're going to have Ken Babby on to talk all about the ballpark. It's amazing what they've done to that park. It is absolutely stunning. He took me to that home plate club behind that they've just built. Hays is like a major league home plate club. They patterned it, JJ, after Truist, after the one in Atlanta. But all these major league stadiums, they're the creme de la creme, the equivalent of having a suite on the 50-yard line, or at least a club seat on the 50-yard line in baseball, is the home plate club. You sit, number one, it's like a country club inside. Beautiful bar and beautiful swanky seats. A buffet, all your food. If you're a member, all your food's paid for. All your tickets are paid for the rest of and you sit right behind the dish. I mean, literally, and it's amazing. I think Ken Babby told me, I'm talking out of turn a little bit, but it's like $5,000 for the year. What a great price.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, it's 5. There's like 80 games. So it's like 5, or maybe it's not quite 80 in the minor leagues, but it's a lot.
It's probably 60 to 70.
Yeah, and it's but I mean, what a great Ken is really proud of it, and he ought to be proud of it, man. I told him that yesterday. We're going to have him on the air, and just to talk a little bit about the ballpark. But what a fantastic ballpark, and it was a great night last night. Better night for the Noles than the Gators because they won the game, but it was a great night for Jacksonville, and it was packed. It was Steve Griffin and I were talking a minute ago. Why is it so packed? Well, it's the Florida-Georgia of baseball. It doesn't matter what your record is. Doesn't matter if you think your team's going to win. People go to Florida-Georgia, whether they're – I mean, I've seen both teams go as 20-plus point underdogs, and it's still sold out because it's Florida-Georgia. Well, that's what this is. It doesn't matter how good your team is or team isn't. They sell out the game. They sold it out last night. It's either sold out or close to. You made the point. You walked up to the show and talked about how you were dodging tailgaters.
Absolutely.
I mean, before the game even started.
It was awesome.
So our friends from the Gator Bowl put it on, and then he certainly does. Greg McGarity and his team do a fantastic job. So it was a really fun watch. It really was. It was fun to watch that game last night. So, again, credit. Good news for the Seminoles. They won the game, but better news even for Jacksonville because it was a great game to have on. All right, we got a lot of things to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about rookie quarterbacks now. The pressure. J.J. McCarthy's probably going to be the starter. Cam Ward is going to be a starter. My guess is in Nashville. Okay. Shedeur Sanders, I'm guessing, is going to start either in Cleveland or New York. C.J. Stroud, Trevor Lawrence, it wasn't always that way. Is that a good thing? Is it good now for the good or bad for the quarterbacks that they played right away? I got a lot of theories on that, so I'm going to kind of get to that today. But quarterback starting right away. I'm going to talk some rookie quarterbacks. We'll talk about Gator hoops. So Florida, Maryland. What does the game mean to you? Is there any? And what does it mean if they win? What does it mean if they lose? We'll talk a little opening day. Talk a little bit about JJ's team, the Atlanta Braves. I think there's some interest in the Braves. So a lot of things we're going to get to today on the program. But we're going to start with the Duval County Scholar Athlete. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll say hello to our latest Duval County Scholar Athlete, Jasmine Cross. That's after this on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Find Florida Gators basketball on 1010XL.
It's the Sweet 16 with first seed Florida and fourth seeded Maryland. Tomorrow night at 7:30 on 1010 AM.
It's truck season again at Nimnick Chevrolet. This month, you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 2.9%. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. Now available now, the all-new Silverado EV. Designed to go the distance, the Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. Ask about low-rate financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. And remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $3,000 in trade assistance. Who's got the best Silverados? Nobody but Nimnick. Head to Nimnick today. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles Update. Showtime is now an official PSA grading dealer 2 days per week, Wednesday and Sunday. You can bring your raw cards into Showtime to submit for PSA. Seth can review your cards and mail them off same week. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
This is Hays Carlyon from my friend Holt at Harold & Harold. There doesn't seem to be enough time in the day to get everything done. Then you get injured in an accident and you don't know what you're going to do. Let Harold & Harold make it easy for you. Easy on becoming a client. You can just text or email if you want. Easy on finding a doctor and getting through the process. Hopefully you won't need them, but if you're ever injured, call Harold & Harold and make it easy on yourself. Call them at 904-251-1111. That's 251-1111.
Top Dog Tavern is your gathering place for family and friends, offering something for everyone. Want a delicious meal served with a smile? We have you covered. Shareable appetizers, hot and crispy wings, juicy tavern burgers, fresh salads, plus a large craft beer selection. And there is nowhere better to watch all the big games than on our multiple TVs. Enjoy great food, cold drinks, and good times at Top Dog Tavern, located in Bartram Park off Old St. Augustine Road.
Is your yard starting to look a little like a jungle? Well, it might be time for a little TLC. Or how about RTC, Russell Tree Care? At Russell Tree Care, they give your trees the perfect haircut. Whether it's trimming or removing, they'll make sure your yard looks its best, all while keeping safety as a top priority. Call Russell Tree Care today and let them take care of your trees. Russell Tree Care, 844-4Mr. Wood. That's 844-467-9663. Or visit RussellTreeCareLLC.com today. Your trees will thank you.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
It's the blog players put their pads on for.
So we got to bring my thoughts and observations on our home team. That's what I share with you every week on my blog.
Roland Reach Plumbing brings you Hays Blog on 1010XL.com.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise and towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Poker players, the Run Good Poker Series is taking over Best Bet Jacksonville from April 24th to May 4th. Brace yourself for 10 action-packed poker events, including the $1,200 main event with an incredible $300,000 guaranteed prize pool. Event number 1 kicks things off with a $400 no-limit hold'em tournament featuring a $200,000 guarantee. Want your shot? Win your way in through satellites. Your seat is waiting for you in the Run Good Poker Series at Best Bet Jacksonville. Visit bestbetjacks.com for tournament structures and details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The 2025 NFL season is right around the corner, and the Jags are building something special. A fresh team, a new culture, and a stadium that's going to change the game. Be there to witness head coach Liam Cohen and the rest of the coaching crew in action and secure your place in line for the stadium of the future with your 2025 season ticket membership. Visit Jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you at the bank this fall.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Multi-unit hair grafting is now available at IHRS and can give you 3 times more hair in one procedure over a traditional hair transplant.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
You can grow your hair back with this exclusive new procedure. Call for a free evaluation. Call IHRS 904-777-IHRS 777-IHRS 777-4477.
Welcome to AT&T. How can I help?
Hey, I thought I could trust my twins with my phone, but they outnumber me, man.
Whoa, that's a lot of glitter paint. Let's trade
lives.
At AT&T, everyone can trade in an old or glittered iPhone any year, any condition, and save on a new iPhone. Ask how to get iPhone 16 Pro on us. New and existing customers. Savings vary by device and trade-in combinations. Restrictions apply. See att.com for details. AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Hey, let's go!
And now, this week's Scholar Athlete of the Week. Brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists and the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 on 1010XL.
All right, it is time for our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week. It is Jasmine Cross from Fletcher High School. Hey, Jasmine, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to talk all about flag football and basketball, but let's start with flag football because that's your go-to, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me how do you get involved playing flag football, and tell me all about it.
Yeah, so I started in 3rd grade. My dad was actually my coach, and I played in a league called Gridiron. I was the only girl on the team, and then now when I went to high school and saw they had it, I jumped on the opportunity.
That's awesome. And you in what position you play?
I play quarterback.
Okay, of course.
Scrambler or
yes, definitely.
Give us a scouting report on your game.
Yeah, so I can definitely throw the ball, launch it out there when I can, but in sevens they have 2 rushers. They rush from about 3 yards away, and you can run unlimited, like no matter if they rush you or not. So I took that to my ability, and I run all the time. My running back's always like, run when you can, you always have that option. So I definitely run.
The best player wears number 1. You know that, don't you? On all the teams, the best players on all the teams wear number 1. I'm just saying. Jasmine has her number 1 jersey on here, so we know that. So, well, very cool. Tell me about basketball. How long have you played that? What do you play, the whole bit?
I've played since 7th grade in middle school. I actually just joined for fun. I've definitely played flag football longer. my dad and I went out to Sunshine Park and shot the ball around, and then I just played, and it's been something throughout high school that's always kept me in shape.
Very cool.
Do you have a favorite flag football performance or win you can tell us about?
Yeah, last season, at the end of the season, we played Fleming Island. They were one of the top teams in the district, and we really wanted to beat them. We beat them 33-12, and it was a really good game for us. Good memory. Sports media was out there, and we had a good time.
With that, a bunch of touchdown passes?
Yes, sir. 4.
4 touchdown passes. Just in case you're wondering, 4 touchdown passes. All right, so tell us about other things you're involved in. Tell me what the Ignite program is.
Yeah, so at school we have this program where we go in classrooms and talk to students and student athletes about time management and prioritizing school and their future and college, and talk to them about, anything they're struggling with.
That is very cool. How do you manage your time? Well, you got a lot going on.
Yeah, so mental health is definitely a big thing, getting rest, relaxing, but, when I get home, I try to do homework so I can knock it out before I have a game or practice, and really just staying focused and having fun while doing it.
Very cool.
Jasmine, do you know what your college plans are yet?
Yeah, I plan to attend Florida State in the fall. I got in there, and that's my plan.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very cool. That's exciting.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And so what do you want to study? What down the road, what do you see Jasmine doing?
Right now, my major is exercise physiology. I intend to go into the DPT program here at UNF after. So physical therapy, it's involved in sports, and I've always had, a liking for being around athletes.
Very cool.
In terms of flag football, how does that work? What's kind of like your week in preparing for a game?
Yeah, so we have practice every day, 2:45 to 5. With throwing the ball, I like to keep my arm, ice it after practice or go to the athletic trainer and get some stim. But really just making sure we focus on fundamental things every day, and so that in a game, they're not a problem.
Very cool stuff. All right. Well, Jasmine Cross is our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, an outstanding student. The all-conference the last 2 years and the team MVP this year. So congratulations. Great meeting you. Good luck in college.
Thank you guys for having me.
All right. Jasmine Cross. She is from Fletcher. She is terrific. Flag football player and a basketball player. And it's great having her in here talking all about the things that she loves to do. You could tell she's confident, couldn't you? You could tell that.
Without a doubt.
She's good.
Yeah.
So great to meet Jasmine.
And it's cool to learn about, particularly flag football isn't necessarily a new sport, but at the high school level, in terms of being sanctioned, I think it's what would you guess, 20 years? Something like maybe 10 to 20 years?
I don't even know, but that's probably right.
Yeah. So
I'd be the wrong person to guess, but I think it's probably
It's cool to get a sense of, of what goes into being a quarterback on a really good flag football team.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And you're right. It's become a very big deal at the high school level. So, no, you're exactly right. So it was good to meet Jasmine Cross and talk all about that. All right, a lot of things to get to today. I want to talk about rookie quarterbacks today on the program. I want to talk a little bit about Major League Opening Day. I want to talk about those Atlanta Braves. But let's start a little bit for now. The Sweet 16 is tomorrow night. The Gators play in about 27 hours or so. Where are they? And I'm going to try to track down Chris Harry. It might be harder to get him tomorrow because he'll be on his way to the arena. We'll see if we can get him early in the program if it's possible. But where are they? Where's their head? Are they a confident basketball team? I think this. I think the weight of the world is off their shoulders. You made the point yesterday that hearing them quoted that maybe that having to play UConn kind of bothered them, and it bothered Gator fan because it bothered me. I think now this is a really relaxed, really laid-back team. I would be very surprised. And again, I wasn't sure they're going to beat UConn. I told you that right before the game. I didn't have a great feeling. But and I think Maryland's good, by the way. Maryland will match up 5-on-5. Maryland will match up well with them because their bigs are physical. Their guards can run. They can shoot it. So 5-on-5 they'll match up. The question will be the depth. So this isn't a knock on Maryland. I think Maryland's good. But I think Florida is going to be really ready to play. Now, again, you've got to go to the West Coast, and you never know how a new arena and a new time zone and all that affects either team. But I think Florida's going to be really ready to play in this game.
I would anticipate that as well, just because there's a lot of guys due to play well. I think all 4 of Florida's bigs didn't really play all that great in Raleigh. Particularly on the defensive side of things. And even offensively, I thought Alex Condon, this is really a chance for Alex Condon to make a big statement. It really thought he was quiet for the first 2 games. So I would anticipate the front court being incredibly motivated. And again, when you look at what Maryland presents, Derek Queen's an outstanding freshman, averaging 16.2 points a game, 9.1 rebounds. He shoots it at a 53% clip. So, I mean, he when they need a basket, this freshman has been able to deliver, and we saw how clutch he was hitting the buzzer beater to beat Colorado State. And they are good. Maryland's starting unit, they all average 12 points a game in terms of their starters. But where the game will likely be won is the depth that we've been talking about. Florida averages 22 points a game off their bench. That's not great, but it's 118th in the country. So they have an above-average bench when it comes to scoring. And we also know what Houck adds as a rebounder, as a defender, what Aberdeen can add as well, what Han Logden adds is a rebounder, a defensive presence, a guy that can go get loose balls. So it goes beyond the scoring, but it just highlights Maryland is 345th in the country in bench points at 12.3 a game. But to your larger point, I do think Florida now, the fact that they've beaten the two-time defending champion, I think now from a mental standpoint, they're in a much better place than where they were in Raleigh, where, you know, maybe that was part of the reason that they even didn't play really great against Norfolk State, is maybe UConn was already a little bit in their head. So I think it fits Florida really well, because I have to assume Todd Golden's plan is going to be send the house at Derek Queen, because if they can get foul trouble on him early, and he's done, particularly for a young player, they've done as a group, as a team, Maryland, an outstanding job of avoiding foul trouble. But this is a different environment. It's a different team. You know, I don't know how many teams Maryland has seen that are on Florida's skill level and depth level. So that'll be a challenge. But if Maryland can stay out of foul trouble, they can absolutely beat Florida. But to your point, I would think it'll be more of a buzzsaw game. I mean, Florida's not going to beat them by 30 or anything, but I could see it being a comfortable win for Florida, because it seems like the stars have kind of aligned now that they've had the kind of the rescue against UConn with Clayton hitting the big shots late. It feels to me like a team that I wouldn't be surprised if their margin of victory in San Francisco is 20 or more combined points. And Texas Tech's great, and I think they'll beat Arkansas. So it's not like they're not playing two. And even if it's Arkansas, obviously from an athletic standpoint, the Razorbacks are about as good as it gets, because you know John Calipari is going to have that kind of a roster. But they might tense up once they get to San Antonio, but I think it's free and easy. I think the matchup, at least Thursday night, really suits them. And I would be surprised if they don't get it done against Maryland. And I am expecting them to win both games in San Francisco and get to the Final Four.
The other part of that too, Hays, is they overcame their two gigantic Achilles heels. The thing you pointed out all along would hurt them: free throw shooting and turnovers. They were sloppy. They tried to make so. The best way to correct the bad stuff is to do it all and be guilty of every bit of it. All those teaching moments coaches like to talk about, but then still win the game. And that's what happened. In addition to the fact that they showed that great heart and toughness and fortitude and proved to themselves they can overcome anything and all the other cliches you hear, they also made all those turnovers and won the game. So I doubt they'll be trying to force all those ridiculous passes that aren't there. Now, look, that's who they are. So they're gonna turn it over some, but I doubt they're gonna try and make every play. And look, the other thing is, I don't know how much you can fix free throw shooting, but just 2 games ago they were 26 of 29. So it's not like they can't do it. The key to the free throws are, you don't want the guys that get fouled the most to be Condon and Chinulu. They're not good free throw shooters. The other guys are pretty good free throw shooters. So yeah, here's what's weird about the game. I say weird. Here's what's got me curious about the game. Nobody that I know that follows it closely saw them rolling UConn. All the stuff that we talked about, the fact that UConn is the 2-time defending champion, the fact that they are well coached, the fact that they had some veteran guys, the fact that they play with a toughness. I say we all knew. There was no doubt in my mind that was going to be a really good game. I never thought they were going to roll them by the number at any point. Now, and I think people agreed with that. Now, I think people like me are way more comfortable. And again, I'm not knocking Maryland, but Florida's been proven to be one of the best teams in the country. And with when one of the best teams in the country plays to its peak, it's really good. Maryland's beaten a 13 seed and a 12 seed. I mean, that's I'm not blaming them for that, but that's the reality. They haven't beaten a 1, 2, 3, 6, or 7 seed yet. So everybody now once again expects Florida to win. I'll say what's interesting. I thought that would hurt them in the SEC tournament. It didn't. The growing confidence people had in Florida, I thought fueled them, didn't you? In the SEC tournament, it fueled them against Norfolk State. Then they fell asleep at the wheel. So I didn't. To me, the struggles against UConn were not a carryover from Norfolk State. A lot of people think they were. I think it's totally different. I think Norfolk State, they got up by 32 and just kind of fell asleep at the wheel. They quit trying as hard. I think against UConn, they were trying too hard. There's a difference between you get up by 32 and you get a little lackadaisical and suddenly you're not trying as hard. That wasn't the case against UConn. They were trying too hard. So I thought it was two different psychologies that affected their bad first half or bad second half against Norfolk State and bad first half against UConn.
Yeah, and again, I was surprised. I didn't think UConn's mystique would be that big of a factor because all the players are gone other than one. And I equated it to the 04s. Well, Florida didn't have any mystique once Noah, Horford, and Brewer left campus. And now to UConn's credit, they were better this year than Florida was after the back-to-back titles. Florida didn't even get into the tournament. But I was surprised at how much Florida was bothered. And I was really surprised at hearing comments from Golden about how difficult he thought it would be, like as soon as the bracket basically came out. And, but they survived it. It's wild. The trend heavily favors Florida. I didn't realize this. Florida is 9-1 in the Sweet 16 all time, including 8 straight wins. I mean, that's obviously,
I didn't realize that.
That doesn't have anything really to do with tomorrow's game. I know, but it's just really interesting that they have been, as a program, so dominant at this stage of the NCAA tournament.
So hang on a second. I knew they had been to 9 Elite Eights. I did not know they'd only been to 10 Sweet 16s.
Yeah.
I'll be darned. I did not. So
then I was surprised too when Florida put it in their notes.
Because I didn't know the Sweet 16 number. I knew the Elite Eight number is 9. 9 Elite Eights, 5 Final Fours, 3 championship games, 2 titles. We all know those numbers.
Right.
But I did not know. Wow. So only one time have they gone to the Sweet 16 and not gone to the Elite
Eight. And it was
Eight.
like one of the first times they ever went.
I'll be darned. Was that the Casey Calvary? It might have been the Casey Calvary game.
It probably was.
I think it was.
Yeah.
The shoe still fits.
Yeah.
That was the game. That was the Gus Johnson call.
Right.
That's the only time.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, that's just a historical trend. Again, I don't put a ton of stock into it in terms of tomorrow night's game, but it is interesting. And, again, to me, it also comes back to you've got one of the hottest players in the country right now. I mean, Maryland does too. Derek Queen's certainly playing at a great level. But what Walter Clayton Jr. has done, since the SEC tournament and into the NCAA, I mean, he's hitting like 53% of his 3-pointers since the SEC tournament. So that's the last 5 games, all against teams that, are either elite or a team in Norfolk State that at least was good enough to win their league. So I just think when you got a player playing at that level, I think they're going to have a motivated front court. I think Golden will have a plan. You're going up against Kevin Willard, not Danny Hurley. I think all that stuff. I mean, there's talk that Kevin Willard, as soon as their season ends, is going to go to Villanova.
Well, everyone's going somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So, who knows if he's even, how, I mean, I'm sure he's invested obviously in this game. Don't get me wrong, but is that a distraction? Now, Golden's losing.
So do you go Maryland to Villanova?
Well,
I mean, Villanova is a blue blood job, but Maryland's a pretty good job.
It's a pretty good job. Yeah. There's something, I've got this in headlines, but there's something that has been sort of floated out there by insiders that I think holds some water, and it answers, I think, some of that question, which is with this revenue sharing coming online where schools are going to hand out $20 million. Well, if you're a school if you're like, look at the Big East Conference. if you're a big-time basketball school that doesn't have a football team, think of the money
that
you're going to be able to throw to your basketball roster.
Because we were told very specifically, well before the $20 million became part of the revenue sharing operation, that when that was kind of the NIL number, I think you and I had this conversation. We were told that what was I don't remember the breakdown. I think
it's like the break. Most people
12
believe
or 13 football, 7 men's basketball,
right? It's like 75% football, 15% basketball,
and everything else.
And then 5%. If that probably doesn't.
So, but something like that, yeah.
But like 80, 15, 5.
Yeah,
basically.
And so, but now if you can still spend the 20, and you don't play football,
right?
That's a great point. I never thought.
That's why it might be a better job. Because Maryland obviously wants to be good in football too.
And I would think, I think Villanova's a better basketball job than Maryland. I just wouldn't think you'd go from Maryland to Villanova. You know what I mean? I would
without a tie. Which I don't believe he has.
I think. Listen, I think Auburn's a better job than Ole Miss, but I wouldn't think you'd go from one to the other. But coaches have,
right?
So maybe, interesting stuff. So we'll see. But it'll be funny. We'll talk more about it as we go on, and certainly all about it tomorrow. Florida, Maryland, 7:39 tip tomorrow night. Boy, it is 2 nights of good basketball, isn't it? I mean, it is 2 nights of it. Really, I mean, those 8 games.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Those are some precise tip times too. Does Tom Coughlin run March Madness?
09 and 39.
How about
You're
that?
exactly right.
Not 7:40. You better be ready to play basketball at 7:39.
I want to talk a little hardball when we come back. This is 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Dan Hicken.
Damn, he's like a super spy.
Jeff Prosser.
He's a spy, the same as me. He's not a super spy. He ain't a spy like you, man. He got a fly-ass ninja outfit and parachute. We hanging from balloons.
They are the drill.
They're both adorable, but just a little bit flaky.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
It's a new year with new goals, but let's face it, not all resolutions are easy to keep. Maybe you promised yourself you'd eat healthier, but pizza still seems like a better idea. Or you said you'd read more, but your favorite show just launched a new season. At Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet, we can help you keep your New Year's resolution. We offer the biggest selection, best prices, and the easiest car buying experience. Let's make a resolution to visit Beaver Toyota or Beaver Chevrolet, where we'll wow you with a new ride for the new year.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Mosquito season is upon us, but don't let them take over. The secret to a bite-free yard is starting today with Kingfish Pest Control. Their 3-step mosquito defense process stops them before they can spread. Eliminate breeding areas, build a protective barrier around your yard, and monthly treatments to keep them away all season long. The earlier you start, the fewer mosquitoes you'll have to fight. Don't let those pests ruin your outdoor fun. Call Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguar.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of classic rock with legendary vocalist Jeff Tate. Known for his iconic work with Queensryche, Jeff Tate brings his unforgettable sound to the Florida Theater for one night only.
Round-trip journey in your head.
Witness the hit album Operation Mindcrime, performed in its entirety for the final time. Jeff Tate, Operation Mindcrime, April 3rd at Florida Theater. Tickets at floridatheater.com.
Hey folks, Hicken here for Zero Res. You're going to want to beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get one room Zero Resified starting at $53. Hey, and take $100 off your air duct cleaning. Don't forget about your air ducts. Your air ducts sort of like the lungs of your home. If they're dirty, your indoor air quality suffers. Visit ZeroResJacksonville.com. Tell them Dan or 1010XL sent you. Spell it forwards or backwards. Zero Res. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
It's tune-up time, and Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, wants to partner with you for a cool summer season. Tune up your AC unit right now so it's running at peak performance when you need it most. Just call 777-4300 and order a tune-up for just $59. Keep your unit humming at optimal level. Log on to FloridaHomeAC.com and take advantage of their savings. Keep cool with Florida Home AC. That's 777-4300.
Our slogan, Know Before You Blow, applies to more than just DUI cases. Hi, I'm attorney Lee Lockett of Lockett Law. Battery charges can result in jail time and criminal convictions too, so know before you blow a gasket and hit a loved one or a stranger. Drug crimes like possession of marijuana and cocaine will land you in cuffs too, so know before you blow. In a boating under the influence case, you also have the option to blow or not to blow. So know your options. Know before you blow. Go to knowbeforeyouBlow.com now. Offices Jacksonville.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Hacker here, thinking I did something spectacular, dropping 123 pounds. But then Steve pops in and dropped a whopping 150 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I got started because I was sick and tired of just being sick and tired all the time. Wanted more from life, and I knew that at my size, I wasn't being who I could be, who I want to be for not only myself, but for my wife. And I was just like, something has got to change and it's got to start soon. I mean, the program is so easy. Everything is really written down for you on your first day. Having someone there to help you and also keep you accountable, just having that someone to talk to, and even the fact that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life is amazing because keeping the weight off is a lifetime commitment.
A lifetime commitment is what you'll receive with Awaken 180. 25 pounds like Dempsey, 40 pounds like Matt Hays, or maybe it's over 100 pounds like Steve and me. Awaken 180 will get you there online at awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, it only costs for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org, and you can apply there.
Apply by May 15th.
Join UF Health Jacksonville for their inaugural golf classic on Friday, April 25th at Amelia River Club. Sponsorships and foursomes are available. Visit ufhealthjacks.org/golf for details. See you on the course. Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Stop by Stone Core on Phillips Highway for all your outdoor living needs. Let them show you how a durable paver driveway can enhance your home. Visit stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Here's what I think of when I think the Atlanta Braves. Horner's got a pair of doubles. Murphy's got a pair of doubles. And in about an hour, I'll have a pair of doubles myself. That's my skip.
That's pretty good.
That's my skip.
Yeah. You needed to throw in a Beastmaster promo.
Yeah,
that was always like the movie after a Braves game.
Coming up on PBS. Absolutely right.
Mark Singer is the Beastmaster.
Oh, I love it.
Or what was the show that they'd have, like the guy and the girl would make the dinner in a movie?
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah. The if 3 straight ground balls were hit to Mark Lemke and he had an assist on all of them, he'd say, Lemke ties an assist. Lemke ties a record held by many. I love Skip. God rest Skip. God rest.
Their new guy's good. Brandon Godine.
Is
it Godine? Godine?
Is that what it is?
Is he good? He's phenomenal.
I don't hear their broadcast much anymore, but I will tell you remember when I was a little kid now, you couldn't listen to Pirates games, so I became a Braves fan as a little kid. I mean, in late 60s, early 70s, Milo Hamilton and Ernie Johnson on the call when I was a kid. And it was and every time the Braves were every game, if the Braves were down, you go to the ninth, you got to go get them Braves. And if they're ahead, you got to hold them Braves. There were a lot more of go get them Braves than there were hold them Braves in those days. They came to Atlanta in 1966, and I was 8. I turned 8 that year, so I was probably 7 during the season. And I would listen like every other kid. I don't know if you did this, JJ, growing up. Hays, you weren't as much a baseball fan. But as a little kid, you'd turn the game on the radio. The games weren't on TV then, other than the Saturday game. That's the only game that was on TV. You turn the game on the radio. The Braves were on here on WOKV. You would turn the Braves game on. You'd go to bed at 8:30 or 9, whatever time you go to bed when you're 8 or 9. And your mom and dad would tell you to turn the radio off. And you turn the radio off until they left the room. Then you'd pop that bad boy back on and turn it really low. And you'd get caught about, if your dad caught you, he kind of chuckled. If your mom caught you, she was mad because she didn't get it. Mm-hmm. You know, that was just kind of what you did. Did you ever? You're younger, JJ. Did you ever listen to Braves on the baseball
Braves
on the radio?
weren't really on the radio.
Yeah,
I had to watch them on TBS.
Yeah,
but I do remember.
Then they were always on. By then they were always on.
Yeah,
TV.
like every single game was on TV. That's why I'm a Braves fan, and everybody I know is a Braves fan. You know, like the Rays didn't even exist.
Yeah,
the Marlins were very, very brand new.
Yeah.
And Miami's pretty far away from where I was growing up anyway.
When I was a real little kid, the first baseball game I watched was the Cardinals and the Dodgers. It was Bob Gibson pitching against Don Drysdale. And I've told this story many times, but I will tell it again. Back then, all the Saturday morning cartoons were on except for Johnny Quest. That was on in the afternoon. So the morning, all morning was the cartoons, okay? Then Championship Wrestling from Florida was 1 to 2 with Gordon Soley. Never missed that. And then the Major League Baseball game of the week was on at 2 o'clock, but so was Johnny Quest on another station. So I can still remember what chair I was sitting in, and I watched wrestling, and my dad was in and out of the room, and I'm ready to watch Johnny Quest. You know Johnny Quest. Mm-hmm. You don't freaking miss Johnny Quest. Okay?
Right.
Race Bannon would get crazy, so you don't miss Johnny Quest. So I was about to watch Johnny Quest, and my dad walked in and goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Watching Johnny Quest." I was probably 6, maybe 7. My dad goes, "Not now, we're not. Right now it's the Major League Baseball game of the week. Kurt Gowdy and Tony Kubek on the call." I'm like, "I want to watch Johnny Quest." My dad goes, "We're not watching Johnny Quest." And we watched, and I sat there and watched the Dodgers and the Cardinals. Don Drysdale versus Bob Gibson, 5-3 game. The Cardinals won, and I was a baseball fan. Bob Gibson was number 45, and I was a baseball fan. Drysdale was 53, and I was a baseball fan from that point forward. 100% true story.
That's awesome.
And you can look up the numbers if you need. You don't need to. Though.
I'm not going to.
Yeah, you don't need to.
I feel confident.
Yeah. So, but I, that's how I got watching. And I've told this story many times too, JJ. I don't know if you've heard this one or not. But I used to draw. Kids draw, right? I used to draw pictures, and I saw Sandy Koufax pitch, and I drew him pitching in a Dodger uniform. But we had a black and white TV, so the stirrups and the lettering and the hat, I made them green. I didn't know. I had no idea. And my
That's
dad,
crazy to think about.
Because we didn't have color TV till 1969, so I had a black and white TV. So I drew them green. I mean, I had with all my crayons and all. And my dad goes, "The Dodgers were blue." And my mom goes, "Frank, he wouldn't have known that." And I said, "Well, which I didn't." So I redrew it in blue. Mm-hmm. So that's how the whole baseball thing started.
That's awesome.
But I love following the Braves as a kid, and and you're right. The whole TBS stuff in the '80s. You watched that. You watched the Cubs and the Braves. We all did, and that was. With who I'm trying to think, every broadcaster that went through there, it was Milo and Ernie at first, Ernie Sr. Then it was Ernie, Skip, Pete Van Wieren,
Joe Simpson.
That's what I remember.
Joe Simpson, Don Sutton.
Right.
We're all 5 of those guys were in there.
Yep.
Wasn't John Sterling for a year or two? Did you know that?
Wow.
I'd forgotten.
John Sterling before he was with the Yankees, he was on that team. He was on that broadcast team. He was on. It was with Pete and Skip and Ernie. John Sterling was the 4th guy before Simpson or Sutton, and then he went on to the Yankees when he went on to that afterwards. So, but I can remember those days as a kid.
They used to switch from like halfway through the game. The radio broadcast would switch over to TV and vice versa. It was really odd.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Exactly what he said. You do radio half the game and TV, and then they flop, and so everybody got to do every. But we had the best time watching baseball. So this year's Braves team, you just said yesterday, somebody's power poll has them second in all of baseball. You're the resident Braves fan in the room, JJ. How do you feel? How do you feel about their team this year?
I buy into that. I think that the American League is gonna be down, especially with the Yankees and their injuries. And I just think all the powers in the National League, and obviously you can't be number one because the Dodgers are number one, and they'll probably be like that all season. But yeah, I love the Braves' chances to win the East this year, even with the Mets reloading and everything. With Strider coming back, that's huge. With Schwallenbach, who looked like he could be like a Cy Young candidate this season. I don't want to jinx the kid, but he looked great last year. And then obviously Chris Sale, Reynaldo Lopez, like the pitching's going to be legit. And the only thing, but last season, it was crazy. It was like an anomaly how all these guys could not be hitting in the same season after what we've seen them do historically before. So I think they're going to be back to normal. The bats will be back to normal, I should say. And Ronald's probably going to come back in a month or so. There's no way he's as bad as he was last year.
If Ronald Acuna, who is a really good player, he's not. I agree. He was not what we saw last year. If Ronald Acuna is back, I mean, if you follow baseball at all, and I know you don't like Sean Murphy, but he's a very good player. Okay, but if you follow baseball at all, Sean Murphy, your depth chart is Olsen, Albies, Austin Riley. Is it Arcia probably at short?
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah, but the other three guys, Olsen, Albies, and Riley, are all candidates to be Silver Sluggers. The Silver Slugger goes to the best hitter at the position. They're all candidates to be Silver Sluggers. If Jurickson Profar hits like he did, if that wasn't a fluke season, if that's who he is, and Acuna comes back,
and Michael Harris is like the best fielding center fielder.
And Harris is good defensively.
He's got a crazy high ceiling.
And if Ozuna hits like he hit, Ozuna's been up and down, but if he can't throw it from here to the garage. But he'll
get you 35 homers.
But he can hit. Yeah. I mean, I don't know that the Dodgers have a better lineup than that. I really don't.
They might have a better, deeper staff.
Yeah, they do. But I don't know that they have a better line. I don't know that there's a team in baseball. See, no one talks about them because we're so damn busy talking about the Dodgers and the Yankees and whoever the hot team is that offseason, the Diamondbacks or whoever. But I honestly, I don't know that there's a better offense in baseball than that Braves offense.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, JJ.
I was just going to say the Dodgers, their lineup is older, too.
Yeah.
The Braves have these guys locked up for 10 years.
Well, and you've always made that point.
Right.
That their plan of attack with that is really good.
And in terms of the offense coming back, the Braves scored 790 runs in 2021. They scored 789 runs the year after that. In 2023, the season JJ just referenced, they set a record. They set a record for home runs, but that season they scored 947 runs. Last year it dipped to 704. So I mean they scored 243 fewer runs last year than they had the year prior.
But like JJ said, it was a weird year.
That's my point. Is like they're going to be back. They may not score in the 900s. But if they were scoring high 700s and then a season in the mid 9s and then it's 704, you have to think with the nucleus back, you have to think that run total is going to be back more in the close to 800 or more.
I tell you what, everybody loses players, right? Everybody loses players. That's the way the game is. Everyone, the free agents but if the Braves had the team they had and had not lost Max Fried. Just the team they have now, JJ. The exact no different guys, but still had Max Fried. Wouldn't they be everybody's pick to win it over the Dodgers if they had the team they have now plus Max Fried?
Baseball is so crazy because the Dodgers could win 150 games, but it's the playoffs it's best 2 out of 3. And like last year, it's hard to even remember this because they won the World Series, but. In that divisional series, they were down 2-1 against San Diego with a bullpen game in Game 4. Like, they were on the verge of losing to the Padres in the division round. So, yes, I do like the Braves to get to the playoffs, but it's such a crapshoot once you get there. But, we're going to miss Max Fried. I love Max Fried, World Series champion, all this, but it's his back half of his career at this point. I think he's going to be good for a couple years with the Yankees, but we just couldn't afford to bring him back for all those years.
Here's the thing. The freaking division.
Stacked.
Because the Phillies haven't lost any of those guys. The Phillies have just about all those guys back. I mean, and they've got Wheeler, Nola, Rangers Suarez, all those guys, and their lineup is really good. And who isn't at least JJ, who isn't intrigued with what the Mets will be, right?
Certainly.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, you got to be really intrigued with what they are with Soto, right? I mean, they
and the run they had last year at the end to get to the playoffs. Remember that that last day of the season when they had to play the Braves in a doubleheader? That was crazy, and they kicked out the Diamondbacks. But that division, man. Besides the Marlins, I mean, even Washington's got some fun players to watch out for this year.
Yeah, they won't be. It'll be a 3-team race.
Yeah.
But yeah. So anyway, I can't wait for it to start. It all starts tomorrow. I do expect. I'm not going to get on a limb, but I do expect Paul Skeens to throw a perfect game. Okay, I'll be disappointed if there's a base runner. If there's like a bad hop single in the 7th inning, it's going to tick me off. But I can't wait to watch it. I can tell you this, and Braves fans around here, there's nothing quite like baseball season, man. There's just nothing like for people like JJ and me that love it so much, and we're dragging Hays along whether he likes it or not. So
now for the next 6 months, every single night,
right.
I'll be upset going to bed or happy going to bed, knowing that this really doesn't matter. It's one of 162.
How does it work in Major League Baseball? Like, how many years are you guys guaranteed to have Skeens?
6.
5 more. So this season and 4 more.
Correct.
Okay,
yeah, that's exactly right.
So way longer than the NFL.
Yeah. Well, he'll be a Pirate for 6 years.
That's fantastic.
Now the last year or two will be arbitration years, but as long as you pay the arbitration,
which they would do.
Of course they would, and it'll only be 6. People say, why don't they extend him? He's not going to do that. The team
would
would
be crazy to do that.
The team would extend him today.
Right.
He's not going to do that. And he's going to wait. He's going to wait his 6 years and then go to New York or Los Angeles, as he should.
So you have 6 years for this team to be sold.
That's exactly what. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's 6 years. He's got 6.
Because if you get a new owner,
maybe
he'll give him what is he going to command? What would you guess by that point? 60 million a year.
Yeah. Whatever it is then. But
that
again,
sounds about right.
But again, the problem, there's a recent report that came out that the Pirates lost money. I don't believe it. I think
how could that possibly?
Because why would he sell the team if he's? I think here's the I've said this many times. Baseball allows a guy like the Pirates owner or the Royals owner or the Rays owner or whoever it is. Okay, you have this business. You have kids. The Pirates owner wants to leave it to his kids. He makes a bunch of money every year. Okay, he's set for life. His kids will be set for life because they make tens of millions of dollars every year. There's no pressure to win because you're going to make the money every year. Now, you'd make more money if you won because the ticket sales would be better, concession sales would be better, but
you can't get relegated.
But you cannot get relegated, which is a great point, by the way. I don't know if you're saying it jokingly or not, but you're
I mean,
100%
just like American owners are very lucky in that aspect.
Yeah, you can't get relegated, so there's really no motivation to spend more money if inherently and intrinsically you don't want to win. And so, let me rephrase that. Of course he wants to win. Right. But if you're not compelled to win. Yeah.
With the Celtics selling for $6 billion, with these numbers getting more and more just stratospheric,
right?
Do you think there's any chance that he'll just say, why don't we? I mean, like if you're his kids, unless you just diehard want to, run the club, why wouldn't you just maybe say, hey, let's just take our $6 billion or whatever the Pirates would sell for. It would have to be what would be the minimum? 4?
The talk.
2.
Yeah. The talk that I've read is he bought the team for roughly about $500 million. Okay, and the team is now worth probably $3 or $4 billion. So why not just sell it?
Right.
But for whatever reason, he doesn't talk to the media. So nobody's ever been able to get that answer. If you're all your family's set for life, you become a multi-billionaire by selling the team, and you're obviously not good at it.
Right.
Why not sell it?
Why not just sell it and give that to your kids?
Right. The other big story in baseball, by the way, that has not gotten enough attention is the Rays have said they're done with St. Pete. Now they've got to stay there through 27 somehow, whether they redo the Trop or whatever. But the Rays have finally said that's it for St. Pete. We were busy with basketball and draft or free agency, so we didn't get to it on our program. But they're done with St. Pete. They said no more negotiating with St. Pete. We're not going to. They finally figured out that the franchise will not work there. Now the reality is there's 2 very successful franchises in Tampa. Both the Bucks and the Lightning are really successful. They pack the house when they win. They're very well run, but they're in Tampa, which is a great sports city, and St. Pete's not. So now, as the clock starts to tick, they will either truly be the Tampa Bay Rays or the Nashville Sounds, and that's the reality. Is now that St. Pete's out the door, Tampa, you're on the clock. Build the damn stadium, which I hope they do. And I hope they build it in Tampa right there on the water near where the Lightning play and all. And I hope they do that. Ybor City's right next door to it. That's where it should go. But if not, the team's going to Nashville. And Nashville's ready. I promise you. When's the last time you were in Nashville and they weren't building everything?
Well, that's the thing. I think every crane on planet Earth
every crane, they're all there.
Nashville.
They're all there.
Yeah.
So if you don't Tampa, you're on the clock. And that's a big story that hadn't been talked about. We'll talk about more as the baseball season goes on. Let's take a break. Hey, when we come back, let's talk a little bit about quarterbacks. Russ Wilson, that'll change the fortunes of the Giants. He's on his way to New York. And we'll talk about rookie quarterbacks. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
Can the Jaguars survive? Garrard's going to run for the first down and a lot more.
1010XL.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
One thing that separates Beard's Diamonds from those other jewelry stores at the town center, no one's paid on commission.
Nobody at Beard's is on commission. That's more of your corporate stores that pay commission.
Beard's owner, John Lupo, says that means no pressure, no hidden agenda, no extra markups.
And you're getting a better deal. You're not paying the corporate commission. You're not paying the salesperson's commission. If they're paying their salespeople commission, you're starting off in the hole.
And that's why you feel like a number at most jewelry stores, because it's all about making the sale, but not at Beard's.
Because it's a corporate atmosphere and they want to sell you what they want to sell you. We're here to sell you what you want. Our salespeople can do whatever they want to make sure that the customer is happy.
So relax. At Beard's Diamonds, they have all the things you want, like quality education, selection, warranties, and none of the stuff you don't want, like pressure and tacked on commissions.
Nobody's making an extra 5 or 10% on Beard's customers.
Beard's Diamonds, the town center's only locally owned jeweler.
We sell better merchandise, better product for less money, guaranteed.
Home is where your story begins. And at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing, we're here to make it the healthiest, most comfortable place it could be. Whether it's fresh, clean air, dependable plumbing, or reliable power, we take care of it all. From routine maintenance to state-of-the-art solutions, Donovan keeps your home running smoothly. Because at Donovan, we believe your home isn't just where you live, it's where your health meets comfort. Call Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing at 904-270-COOL or visit us online. Let's make your home healthier, safer, and better together.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
She's very comfortable talking sports and hanging out with the boys.
Mia O'Brien here, still providing the best multimedia sports coverage in Northeast Florida on 1010XL radio, video, and social channels.
All things Mia are driven by Arlington Toyota.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Every morning that you wake up in a pest-free home is a good morning. And with Florida Pest Control's Pest-Free 365 service, you can. It's more than just a pest control or preventative maintenance plan. It's Florida Pest Control's promise that we'll be there providing pest-free living for your family all year long. And right now, our initial pest service is just $99. To learn more about our pest-free 365 service and to schedule your $99 initial pest service, visit flapest.com today.
What could you do with an extra $75,000 right now, or even a couple $100,000? If you own a home, you can get that money in less than a week with Loan Pronto. Hey, Prosser here. Loan Pronto is the leader in quickly converting your home equity into cold hard cash, so you can pay off all your credit cards or start that home remodel. Loan Pronto has several easy options to let you access the cash from your home. There's virtually no paperwork, no cumbersome process, no junk fees, often no appraisals. Listen, the average homeowner now has over $300,000 in equity. That's your money. Use it. One client got $150,000 out and paid off all their credit cards, 2 car loans, and a personal loan, cutting their monthly expenses by $1,500. You can get approved in as little as 1 day, so act now with no hard credit pull up front. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. Get the money you need for anything at 904-999-1508 or just go to LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Guys, your lawn's the home field. Now you can champion your St. Augustine grass. TopDressing.com just hit Jacksonville with a game-changing patented process. Aerate and transform your turf into a fairway-worthy masterpiece. Less water, shorter cuts, and the envy of every neighbor. No one else delivers a perfect 10 lawn like this. Visit TopDressing.com and dominate your block with the same process that golf courses use. Top dress your lawn like the pros with TopDressing.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
I'm Max Fink here with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by TopDressing.com. Late March is a great time to find your rhythm in the NBA with the playoffs right around the corner. The Magic won their third in a row last night over the Charlotte Hornets, 111-104, holding Charlotte scoreless in the final 2 minutes of the game and completing the season sweep on them. Paolo Banchero's 30-point performance last night was his third 30-plus point night in a row, as he's ending the regular season as one of the league's top scoring threats. They still currently sit at the 8th spot in the Eastern Conference, where they would play the current 7th seed Atlanta Hawks in the play-in game if the season ended today. The Magic are off tonight before they take on the Mavericks tomorrow night here in Orlando. It's 77 degrees at 5:06. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Frangie and Carlyon La Selva with you. The eve of opening day, the eve of Gators Terps in the Sweet 16, among a really terrific back-to-back days of college basketball. 4 tomorrow night, 4 Friday night. The Gators play. If the Gators win, they play for a berth in the Final Four on Saturday night. I'm going to guess it's the late game. Wouldn't you imagine since it's on the West Coast?
I would think.
The first game is 6:09, talking about your starting times. So I would guess the Gators will play around 9 o'clock. I would guess 8:45. I would guess between 8:30 and 9. I'm guessing now. I do know it's a Saturday game. Right. And the East and the West are Saturday. And I would guess because they're West that I would imagine you'll see that game. If Florida beats Maryland, I got to beat them. But if they beat them, I would imagine you'd see that game at 8:30 or 9 on Saturday night. That'd be my guess.
That's what I would think. And if it's Duke, Alabama, I mean, what a unbelievable day of basketball that
pretty
could
good
be.
hoops, huh?
Yeah, that doubleheader. But yeah, I would agree with it being West Coast, probably the late game.
Russell Wilson to the Giants. So the Giants have moved on from Daniel Jones. They have virtually nobody on their roster. Tommy DeVito's on their roster. Raise a hand if you can name all his colleges. And they brought in Jameis Winston and they brought in Russell Wilson. So what is it? Russell Wilson's the starter, Winston's the backup? Are they gonna they just compete and get equal reps in camp? I mean, that is a weird deal when you bring in two 30-somethings. That's a weird deal. What's your read on that?
It's a disaster. They're so mismanaged, and it's one of those things that, like, why would you sign Jameis Winston if you thought there was a chance you'd sign Russell Wilson? It just doesn't make sense. And I would think that absolutely the Giants could still take a quarterback. I would say they should if Shedeur Sanders is there. But I thought it was incredibly puzzling. I think Jameis Winston's better than Russell Wilson at this point. Now, I'm obviously alone in that. Jameis Winston got a $4 million deal, and Russell Wilson got one that's at least $10.5 million that can escalate to 21. So, obviously he had a stronger market. But, I mean, I think if you're a Giants fan, you're just hoping Cleveland doesn't take Sanders, would be my guess. Because, again, we've talked about this. Forget the talent. If you're a general manager needing a quarterback, so, like, you may not love Shedeur Sanders at 3 if you're the Giants. But what are the odds he's going to be there in the second round? Well, they're 0. So if you want Shedeur Sanders, you got to take him at 3. You may not like that, but you have no chance that he's going to be there in the second round. And again, you hope you're right, you hope he's a home run. But the economics of it compared to what these other quarterbacks are making, I mean, we've gone through the numbers. I mean, we looked at Joe Alt's contract, who was the 5th overall pick last year, where the Jaguars are selecting this year. His rookie number is $6 million. His number for this season is $7.5 million in terms of the cap hit. And in 26, it's $9 million. These are reasonable contracts compared to, they're not just reasonable, they're basically, it's dollar store contracts compared to what these veterans are making that aren't even any good. I mean, Daniel Jones is making $14 million to compete with Anthony Richardson. Russell Wilson is making way more than what the 3rd pick in the draft will make. So, I don't think it stops them. I would take Shedeur Sanders if he's there at 3. Maybe they feel like Cleveland is thinking the same thing.
I think Cleveland's going to take him.
And then if you're the Giants, now you're asking, what about Jackson Dart? And my guess is that the Giants would say, well, we'll take the chance that Dart is on the board in the latter part of the first round. Maybe we can trade back in,
right,
instead of taking him at 3. But particularly when you've got Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter there on the board at that point. So, but still, I would have just gone with Jameis Winston. I mean, and then, you can circle back if you don't like where that's headed. But Russell Wilson, I mean, I think he's just terrible now.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's just not the same guy.
And he's really not. So it'll be, so let's assume Cleveland takes Shedeur Sanders, and let's assume Tennessee goes Cam Ward, Cleveland goes Shedeur Sanders. That's where I think it's going to land. Now they're both starters. The Vikings, with a really good team and a real chance, the Vikings have a real chance to be a deep playoff run. They won 14 games in the regular year last year. They're going to start a guy that's never played a down of football. He's the rookie. I don't care what year it is. Do you like all the rookies starting?
Yes.
Why?
I just, because I don't think that there's that much that can be gained by sitting out a full season. I mean, there's maybe something that can be gained watching the first September, watching how a journeyman goes about his business over the first month, how he prepares. There could be some value in that. But I think these, particularly now in an age where, because of the COVID year, a lot of these guys got extra time. You're talking about a player in McCarthy who started a lot of college games. Like, they should be ready. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, they've started. Jackson Dart, they've got a lot of experience. So, it's put them out there. I mean, they should be ready to do it. The rules from a physicality standpoint are easier at the NFL level than they are in the college level. In the college level, a defensive tackle can still drive you into the ground. In the NFL, they can't. So from a physical intimidation standpoint, obviously guys are bigger, faster in the NFL level, but they're limited in terms of the contact that they can put on the quarterback. So I think that helps from a shell shock standpoint. And again, I think there's never been a thinner line between what offenses are running in college and what they're running in the NFL. So, yeah, I think if you draft a player high, a quarterback high in the draft, you should be prepared to start them week one. And if they're not ready to do that, you probably missed on the guy.
Yeah, and I guess what you just described is where football is.
Yeah. Like Mahomes could have done it.
Right.
The Chiefs just didn't need Mahomes. They had a good starter in Alex Smith.
Right.
And and so they had the luxury of bringing Mahomes along. But you'll never convince me that if Patrick Mahomes starts week one that year for the Chiefs, he wouldn't have been really, really good.
Yeah, and maybe he would have. Maybe he's an exception. I just feel like, and again, I don't know that you should sit behind these journeymen, but it just feels like there's so many times that the journeyman guy is better than the young guy when they go in and play. Why not sit now? The trend has changed now that no one's going to change the trend back. But I just wonder, Hays, if I don't know why. I think I'd rather have Sam Darnold or Geno Smith or Joe Flacco a couple years ago and play for my team while Anthony Richardson or whoever my guy is gets ready to play. And I just feel like they're the better player. There's been too many times as the Jaguar play-by-play guy, there's high first-round pick and journeyman backup. And as the Jaguar guy rooting for the Jaguars, I'm hoping the high first-round pick plays and not the journeyman backup. That's happened a lot.
Certainly with Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, and that's you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I shouldn't make that outlier. But I just feel like now the other argument is the sooner they play, the sooner they really are ready to be good. And I get that.
And I think the club just figures it out. I mean, it's just this is the way I look at it. If they're good, they're going to be good whenever you start them, whether it's their first game as a pro or whether they wait a year. If they're bad, they're going to be bad regardless. They're either going to be bad in week one, or if you wait a year to play them and they're bad, they're going to be bad. I just think you can either do it or you can't. And I think you're just better off as a club. You're better off for the players' development to go ahead and play them and look, I mean, and just see. I mean, look, I think what New England did with, Drake May was smart. He didn't start the opener, but he was in there pretty quick. So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be they start week one, but the plan should definitely be if you're going to invest a first-round pick in a rookie quarterback in this day and age, with all the experience, the plan should be that by mid-October, this guy's our starter.
And that is where, whether I agree or not, that is where it's gone. We'll take a break. Hays has headlines on the other side. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Golf courses, beaches, and nonstop sports talk.
Amazing, isn't it?
No wonder so many people like to live here.
This is a wonderful thing.
1010XL, Jack Sports Radio. Now, the Florida Gator Report on 1010XL, brought to you by San Jose Collision.
On Thursday, the Florida Gators will play in the Sweet 16 for the first time since 2017, tipping off against the 4-seeded Maryland Terrapins at 7:39 p.m. in San Francisco. Catch the game on 10:10 a.m. On Tuesday night at VyStar Ballpark, the Gators fell to the 4th-ranked Florida State Seminoles 8-4 on a walk-off grand slam. They've now lost 4 straight as they get ready for their series with Ole Miss this weekend.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Here's Linda Beaver.
At Beaver Chevrolet, we believe your experience should be more than just buying a car. It should be a lifetime of confidence, care, and trust. That's why we're proud to offer lifetime warranties and lifetime customer service. At Beaver Chevrolet, we're not just here to sell you a car. We're here to establish a lifelong relationship that you can always count on. It's simple. You deserve the best and shouldn't settle for less. Visit Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville, where we're ready to give you a peace of mind for a lifetime.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Huh? guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Get to know positions and players. The 1010XL Ultimate Draft Guide is brought to you by Blue Haven Pools, the #1 pool builder in Jacksonville. Follow rankings and roundtables as the draft takes shape. Go to 1010XL.com/2025 draft guide to get yours.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm a coach at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. When a client reaches the goal that they've set, they are so proud of themselves. They are so thrilled with how they look and how they feel. They are ready to take on the next thing. And that's one thing about weight loss. It's so much more than a number on a scale. It's about self-respect. It's a momentum thing. Now that I've lost 50 pounds, wow, there's no reason why I can't do this next thing that initially seemed so daunting, but now I know I can do it. The celebration is not just how much better you look and feel, but how much more self-respect you have. We get on a track of success at Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Losing weight with Awaken 180 isn't about the number on the scale. It's about how that number spearheads endless success. Bring your goals to Awaken 180, then celebrate when you check off each and every one of them. Call 844-346-1800 or online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians, ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold and silver and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at almost $3,000 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold for cash and get top dollar or trade it in for a new piece and get even more value at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold. Whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, of Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer, dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
The team at Hidden Hills Golf Club invites you to book your next round of golf with us. At Hidden Hills, we love the game, and we'll provide you with a memorable golf experience at one of the most unique golf courses in North Florida. Check us out at hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
All right, welcome back to the Frangie Show. We've got Frank Frangie. JJ LaSelva is here. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Had lunch with my buddy Holt today. We had a great time talking Gators, Sweet 16, and a little bit of Billy Napier, DJ Lagway. A little concerned about the offense.
Yeah.
Little concerned about Napier calling the plays. I got to be honest, but we'll see.
Is there any chance DJ Lagway's arm will be well enough to throw in the next 2-3 years?
Yeah, hopefully. But give him a call, 251-1111. Hopefully you won't need them. Hopefully you won't get hurt. But if you do, and unfortunately that's part of life, 251-1111 for Harrell & Harrell. We're going to start with the Jaguars. ESPN's Ben Solak rated the free agent classes. I thought it was a really interesting read and a good look. He doesn't think much of the AFC South haul collectively. Solak had the Colts at 16, the Jaguars at 19, the Titans at 27, and the Texans at 28. But Solak was very complimentary in terms of the Jaguars on how Liam Cohen and James Gladstone went about free agency in terms of the players they went after, not doing any contracts that are going to be future albatrosses down the road. It seems like his quibble was more the positions they targeted. He mentioned, De'Ami Brown when you've got a similar skill set in Brian Thomas Jr. He mentioned, which I don't agree with, but that was a point he made. He talked about Jordan Lewis when you already have Jarian Jones, that kind of thing. So that was why it was 19th. But I thought the positive was what we have been talking about. And I think the big point of this whole thing, they were never going to try to dazzle anyone with free agency. And they frankly needed a double-digit amount of guys to step in. When you're not going to resign any of your guys, you've got to go and sign a bunch of free agents. So, again, 19th, nothing to really write home about, but he did think it was the second best haul in the division.
Yeah, look, we said it all along, Hayes. If you have $100 to spend and you only need 2 pieces, you spend $50 a piece. If you have $100 to spend and you need 10 pieces, you spend $10 a piece. Well, that's where they were. They couldn't go spend on Chris Godwin because they needed 9 other positions, so they spent on De'Ami Brown, who doesn't cost as much. You could say that at every position. Whether they got it right or not, this year and future years will tell. But it's very clear they had to rebuild their roster. In their mind, they believed they had to rebuild their roster, and that's how they went about it. So I think people, Nick Solak's among them, that understand the league, understand that part.
Our good buddy Bucky Brooks of the NFL Network has his third mock draft out. Very intriguing one. He has 2 running backs going in the top 10, which is sort of, what we've discussed is the running back coming back in vogue with Genty and Omarion Hampton, the outstanding North Carolina running back. So that was really interesting. But in terms of the Jaguars, Bucky has it Cam Ward 1, Shedeur Sanders 2 to the Browns, Travis Hunter goes 3 to the Giants, and Abdul Carter goes to the Patriots, falling to 4, which would be a stunner if Abdul Carter is there for New England. What a coup that would be. That leads to the Jags getting Mason Graham at 5.
I wouldn't. By the way, I think that's pretty close to how it's going to play out. All right, I really believe that. How does Abdul Carter possibly drop to 4? Well, I'll tell you how. 2 teams, if you can get a quarterback, they go first. And there are those who believe Travis Hunter is the kind of freak we haven't seen in the league. That's the only way he could drop to 4. I'll say it again. I've been saying all along, the 2 quarterbacks, Hunter and Carter, are going to go in the top 4 in some order. I am convinced of that. I am convinced those 4 are off the board. And I'm convinced that Mason Graham will be on the board. And now I'm not convinced the Jags will take him. That I don't know. But I am convinced the first 4 are going to go like that. And my guess is Mason Graham will be the next Jaguar. I think we're going to get to Thursday night in late April, and there's going to be far less mystery and surprise when they turn in that card.
I would agree. In terms of moves around the NFL, the Patriots signed receiver Stephon Diggs to what I think is just a preposterously absurd 3-year, $69 million deal.
Yeah.
Does Diggs have that much left?
I don't think so. That one really surprised me. That sounds like a desperate team trying to find a receiver for its young quarterback. No, I don't think so. Listen, you need stars and you need touchdown makers. And if he's got anything left to be that, I get it. But it surprised me too.
You asked me about this in our last segment, so I'll ask you. Russell Wilson signs with the New York Giants on a 1-year, $10.5 million deal that could expand to $21 million. Do you like the move for Wilson, and do you like the move for the Giants?
Yeah, I don't think Russell Wilson's very good anymore. I disagree with you. I think he's better than Jameis Winston. But I don't think either one of them are very good. Here's the deal. I don't know what else they could do. I do think Shedeur Sanders is going to Cleveland, which is the bet they're playing, obviously. So I don't know who else they could have got. Do you get Joe Flacco? That's no better. Do you get if you weren't going to be in the Aaron Rodgers, Sam Darnold, whoever derby? So I don't love it, but I'm not sure what else they could have done. I'm really not. I'll say this. The part of the reason that I thought Wilson was so bad last year, their offense is no good. Other than Pickens, the receivers are no good. I think obviously New York's got better receivers, and maybe they'll unlock something that's left in there. But I don't think there's much there. I agree with you on that.
In the world of college football, ESPN's experts continue their series of looking at the teams in their way too early top 25. This was the best position and the worst position for all of these teams. For number 18, Florida, ESPN says their biggest strength is the offensive line. Biggest weakness is receiver.
I don't agree with that. I agree with the strength. I'll say this about receiver. There's a lot of unknowns. In fairness to that assessment, I get. But if your weakest position is where Trey Wilson returns, and you get this guy Sturdivant from UCLA, and you got this guy Dallas Wilson and Vernell Brown and everything they've been, and you got Aiden Mizell who should be on their track team. If that's your weakest position, then you're pretty good. But it's unproven. It's clearly their most unproven position of every room. So that part I get.
I thought it spoke to what we've kind of talked about. This is a good team.
Yeah. Because
I sort of was surprised when I saw receiver, but to your point, there is a lot of turnover going on there. But it's shocking not to see a defensive position, because it seems like, in terms of weakness, because it seems like for the last 3 or 4 years, somewhere on that Florida defense, whether it's a defensive line that has no depth, and guys that really shouldn't even be starting in the SEC, or a linebacking core that's all freshmen, or a secondary that's all freshmen, it was almost refreshing to see the defense not mentioned at all.
Because that linebacking core that were all freshmen 2 years ago, now all juniors. That's what's happened. Same with the defensive back. No, look, and we'll talk more about this closer to spring game, and then as the summer and fall get closer. I thought about this. Florida's got a good team. He's not a very good play caller, but they fit what he wants to do as a play caller, is grind it out and run it and play action. The biggest question they have is, no matter how much we get excited and giddy about DJ Lagway, he's still a guy that threw 14 touchdowns and 8 picks.
Right.
Now what they're returning is a quarterback who was 14-8, not 34-5. And that number might be wrong, but
it's close.
Yeah.
It's basically what he was.
They're bringing back a quarterback who hasn't done much statistically, no matter how generational people say. With a play caller that's just average. Now, if they figure that part out, if all of a sudden they got a high-flying passing game, forget everything else. Forget running, offensive line, defense, personnel, kicking game. We have a pretty good feeling what that is. If they have a high-flying passing game, then look out. I think they've got a good team.
Speaking of that Florida secondary, boy, there is some buzz on Cormani McClain coming out of spring practices. Are you buying into the hype at all that Cormani McClain may be on the right path to superstardom now?
No, I'm not ready for superstardom. I think what's happened, though, is they clearly have a very good strength and development program. We saw at the Combine. They had all these guys running 4.4 who did not get there as 4.4s. They didn't. There's no way Tim DK and Montrell Johnson showed up at Florida's 4.4s. They didn't. Elijah Badger. They're all running in the 4.4s, and that's NFL time. That's not a Florida guy timing it. So it's very clear. It's very clear that they have a development program. I think he's going to develop. I don't think he's going to start. I think Devin Moore and 27 are going to start. I forget 27's name, but I think 27 and 28 are going to be their two cornerbacks. I think he gives them great depth. So I believe he's developing, but I don't think he's on his way to being what we all expected when he was a 5-star. I think he'll be a good player for them and a good backup, and he shows the depth we're talking about, but I'm not ready for him to – I don't think he's winning the Thorpe Award.
Yeah. Who needs to have a big game tomorrow, Frank, in the world of college basketball? Florida, Maryland, outside of Walter Clayton Jr., who's the other Florida player that must play well for Florida to advance, in your opinion?
I think probably Condon. I think if Florida wins the interior, that means Condon played well. Now, look, they need them all. They need Will Richard can't get invisible like he does sometimes. Elijah Martin can't have one of those games where he misses everything. They all have to play well. But you have to have something. Maryland's got two good physical inside guys. I mean, they're my guess is that when they start the game, Chinyelu will play Queen, and that Condon will probably wind up playing Reese. But Florida, they only have those two guys. Florida will play a bunch of guys. Condon, if Alex Condon does not show up in the box score, rebounding, shot blocking, second chance points, double-digit scoring, it's going to be a tough night. He's their second best player and the second most important guy.
Who are you hoping wins the Arkansas-Texas Tech game, assuming the Gators advance?
Arkansas. Because I think Florida will play them with a great deal of confidence. Florida, it's funny. I was trying to remember that game. I did the Hula Bowl game that day. And I'm driving back from Orlando kind of listening to it. It's not the same as when you lock in and watch the game, So I'm driving back listening. I know Florida beat them, but it was clunky, I think, it's only 1 point. So, but yeah, I'd still rather not. I'd still rather play the 10 than the 3. There's not many years I'd rather play the 3 when I could play the 10.
Makes sense. Let's get it to the East region tomorrow. BYU, Alabama, and Duke, Arizona. Do you feel good about Duke and Bama, or could we see a shocker?
I think Duke's going to beat Arizona. I don't know about BYU, Alabama. Alabama's very good, but can be flawed. At times they don't cover. At times, if they can't outrun you, they have everything. So much is based on Sears off the dribble, and they shoot quick. Youngblood gets it up quick. BYU's pretty good, man. BYU, they're pretty good. So I think it'll be Duke, Bama. But I think it's not an automatic.
Let's get it to Major League Baseball.
Does it start tomorrow?
It starts tomorrow. I need a World Series pick from you two guys.
JJ, go. Who do you like?
Wow. I'm gonna go the Dodgers, and dang. I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna go with the Boston Red Sox.
How about
Dodgers,
that?
Red Sox.
Be a great series.
Which we saw probably like 5 or 6 years back.
Dodgers, Red Sox for you. I'm gonna go Braves.
The AL is just all over the place.
Yeah, it really is. I'm gonna go Braves. Just for kicks, give me the Astros.
Okay.
Give me the Braves and the Astros.
Braves and Astros. All right, very good. Let's get it to college baseball. Former Bartram Trail and UNF star Alex Lodies hits a walk-off grand slam to complete the cycle and send number 4 FSU to a thrilling 8-4 win over Florida at the baseball grounds.
I said this at the top. How's your day? You're Alex Lodies. You hit for the cycle. You hit a walk-off granny to beat your arch rival in your hometown. If that's not pretty good, you've had a pretty good day. He's a really good player. He's not some little bitty shortstop. He's 6'1", 6'2". He's going to be in the big leagues. I saw him play at the Cape last year. He's going to be in the big leagues. He's going to be one of the good players to come out of Jacksonville. I even think he's a guy that won't toil very long in the minors. I think he's a really, and I think he'll stay at shortstop. He's got a little Willie Adames in him. He's that kind of player. He'll hit with some power. Alex Lodies is a fantastic player from here in Jacksonville, he was very deserving of a great night last night in his hometown.
In the world of media, CBS college football analyst Gary Danielson has announced his retirement from broadcasting at the end of this coming season. Charles Davis will replace him starting in 2026, working with Brad Nessler. J.J. Watt will replace Davis on CBS's second team, partnering with Ian Eagle. Nance and Romo are the network's top team, of course.
How about that? So Charles Davis now with Nessler.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Big Ten.
And, okay, interesting. I will miss Gary Danielson. I really liked Nessler and Danielson. I loved Vernon Danielson. Yes. That grouping, it went from Vernon Blackledge to Vernon Danielson to Nessler and Danielson. I loved them all. I really missed the SEC on CBS. More than I thought I would. I really, really missed the SEC on CBS.
Absolutely. I do as well. We will get you out on our musical hat tip of the day. Happy birthday to Aerosmith frontman Steven Tyler, who turned 77 today. This man brought us Dream On, Walk This Way, Love in an Elevator, Liv Tyler. Aerosmith was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2001. This is Ragdoll.
One of the great American rock bands of all time. If you really rated the great American rock bands, Van Halen, Aerosmith, Bon Jovi?
Probably.
American rock bands. These guys are not only on the Mount Rushmore, but they're prominent on the Mount Rushmore. No question about it. We'll take a break. Wrap the program after this.
just like a bad boy. I'm ripping up a rag doll.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Major League Baseball, New York Yankees slugger Aaron Judge, the betting favorite to lead the majors in home runs this season. Judge is at plus 300. Shohei Ohtani of the Los Angeles Dodgers is at plus 500. Kyle Schwarber plus 1,000 to lead the league in home runs. Fernando Tatis Jr. plus 1,600. Pete Alonso and Yordan Alvarez both at plus 1,800. Luis Arraez of the Miami Marlins is the betting favorite to be the regular season hits leader. He is at plus 600. Bobby Witt Jr. of the Kansas City Royals plus 700. Trey Turner and Vladimir Guerrero both at plus 1,200 to lead the league in hits. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Plumbing problem? AC not blowing cool? Septic tank backing up? No need to call 3 different companies. Just call Duck Duck Rooter. At Duck Duck Rooter, we do it all. Plumbing, septic, and air conditioning with expert technicians in each department. One company, one call, one easy bill. No hassle, no runaround, just fast professional service from highly skilled techs who know their stuff. Need help? Call 904-862-6769 today and let Duck Duck Rooter handle it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
Lots of jewelry stores in the town center, but only one is locally owned, Beard's Diamonds.
We're the only local jewelry store at the town center.
That's Jacksonville's John Lupo, owner of Beard's for over 4 decades.
We're entrenched in Jacksonville, Florida.
In a sea of mega chain jewelers, John says it's easy to stand out because he's not handcuffed by a corporate handbook.
I am not beholden to a corporate structure, so we've got flexibility to do whatever we can and want, and we do.
And that includes lowering prices to undercut them every day.
Quality for quality, color for color, everything the same. We should be able to beat them hands down by minimum 20%. We go overseas ourselves. We know exactly what we're buying. This isn't getting marked up in a corporate structure. We will beat anybody's price anywhere.
So before you buy anything at one of those chains, get a second opinion at locally owned Beard's Diamonds. No corporate atmosphere, no corporate rules, no corporate high markups.
We want you to come shop us and you'll see a lot better price here.
Beard's Diamonds.
Everybody gets a good deal at Beard's.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Get ready for an unforgettable night of classic rock with legendary vocalist Jeff Tate. Known for his iconic work with Queensryche, Jeff Tate brings his unforgettable sound to the Florida Theater for one night only.
Round-trip journey in your head.
Witness the hit album Operation Mindcrime, performed in its entirety for the final time. Jeff Tate, Operation Mindcrime, April 3rd at Florida Theater. Tickets at floridatheater.com.
The month of March makes us mad.
This is mass madness, you maniacs.
And we love it.
Got a 3!
Experience the madness with 1010XL.
Served up hot by Hurricane Grill and Wings and Florida Pest Control.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps jacks rolling.
The college basketball playoffs are here, and there's no better place to catch the action than at Hurricane Grill and Wings. With slam dunk specials like $3.75 Miller Lite drafts, plus fresh, never frozen wings in over 30 flavors, and big screens everywhere. This is your home for all the games. Cold beer, handcrafted cocktails, bold flavors, big plays. Don't just watch the games, experience them at Hurricane Grill and Wings. Find your spot at hurricanewings.com.
Hey, poker fans, the stakes are high this month as Best Bet dishes out over $550,000 between Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the St. Augustine poker rooms. Feeling lucky? How about $300 every 15 minutes at the table games, or cash in on the $20,000 race to a race, or every Friday, $1,000 every 30 minutes. And go for the green on St. Patrick's Day, where a Royal Flush in clubs wins up to $5,000. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, this is Dave Barker. Want to grow your hair back?
IHRS, right here in Jacksonville, is the only hair transplant clinic in the country that offers multi-unit hair grafting, FUE Neograft hair transplants, and the 45-minute effective PRP treatments.
Multi-unit hair grafting gave me more hair in one procedure and within my budget.
Thank you, IHRS.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Schedule a free evaluation and find out how to grow your hair back and keep the hair you have. Call 904-777-IHRS. Take the first step to restoring your hair today. Visit hairforme.com.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
IHRS has been restoring hair for men and women for over 30 years.
Call now for a free in-person or virtual evaluation. 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Or visit hair4me.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Now the cool down with Donovan Air, Electric and Plumbing, keeping Jack's cool since '87.
All right, where have we been on the show today? Well, we started the show by saying hello to Jasmine Cross. Boy, was she sharp. Former, finishing up her career at Fletcher. She's played both flag football and basketball, quarterback on the flag football team, point guard on the basketball team. Whereas number one, she had a number one jersey on in here, so she was very sharp, and we're certainly happy to have our Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week, Jasmine Cross from Fletcher, coming in today. We talked about the NCAA basketball tournament, Florida, Maryland. We'll talk certainly more about that tomorrow on tomorrow's program. We talked about Alex Lodi's hitting that granny, hitting for the cycle, the former Bartram Trail star, beating the Gators last night. We talked some football, quarterback plays, Russell Wilson to the Giants. What do you think about rookie quarterbacks playing? And we talked certainly about the draft, what's going to happen in the draft. We looked at some mocks as we do on a regular basis. That's where we've been over the course of the program today. I got kind of some cool news. I told you just a minute ago. I say it's not news. But Justin Lawrence, who's a terrific kid, we've had him in as the Duval County Scholar Athlete of the Week from First Coast High. Closer, a sidearmer who throws 100. You don't see a lot of sidearmers hit 100. Made the Rockies, was the Rockies closer for a while, then was just a middle reliever. Well, he got cut, and the Pirates picked him up, and he made the Pirates today.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that'll be the first player that's ever worked a walk-off clinic.
Wow.
And played for the Pirates. There's something there. There's something in the air. 102 wins and a World Series title, I'm telling you, JJ.
There's something really... I feel for the pitchers who get drafted into the Rockies organization.
I know.
That's just like
that's
a
really
killer
true.
On a career.
It's really that. You know what that really is. For people that don't know why the altitude is so high that even with the what do you call the thing? The cigar, the humidifier. Yeah, no.
They like de-juice the balls.
What do they put the cigars in? With the cigar
humidor.
Humidor. They have the humidor, and so they put the balls in the humidor. But the ball's still... Well, here's the other thing that's hard is the park's gigantic.
It's huge.
So what happens is even if there's not many home runs, there's triples and doubles left and right, and that's what wears out a pitcher. Yeah, so you're right, JJ. That's a good call. You'd hate to be... You want to be in the big leagues, but that's a horrible place to have to go pitch. And so, which is why free agent pitchers never sign there, which is why they'll never be good. So interesting.
How was it with the little walk-off?
You know what?
Throwing the first pitch last night.
He bounced it. He was very nervous. He was really. He's 7 years old.
Yeah,
and he overthrew it a little bit and kind of bounced a little. He was a little embarrassed. He said, "You did great. You did great." We had about close to 100 people, players and families, that the Gator Bowl Association gave them tickets from our walk-off. So I sat out there with them in right field, and Jared was out there with them. We had a good time. It was a great night at the ballpark. It really was. And our by the way, I will tell you, our walk-off leagues start. We have April 5th on Saturday. A week from Saturday is sort of our opening day, a picture day, and that's the fun fest. We have 65 teams this year.
Wow.
That's 65.
And how many roughly kids are on each team, would you think?
10 to 12. 10 to 12. Yeah.
So I mean, literally like 700 kids.
Yeah. We've had 47. We've had 47 teams has been our most. So about 600 kids. We'll probably have 750 this year of little kids playing
baseball for free.
Playing baseball for free.
That's really cool.
Thank you for that. And we've got a bunch of teams, man. So and they're fired up too. They are fired. They're ready to play. Now they got a feel for it, And so and now what I really hoped would happen with walk off is now it's become a big deal in those communities. Now it's become a big deal for the little kids who are one day going to go to Raines and Ribault and Jackson playing baseball as little kids coming up. It wasn't a big deal. I'll be I don't say this boastfully. It's not anything I did, but I will be very curious to see. We're 7 years in now, so our 8-year-olds are 14, 15. I'll be very interested to see in about 3 or 4 more years how the baseball teams are at those schools. Because now they have some feeders.
Right.
They really do.
Yeah.
So and they've this. Those programs have struggled in baseball.
Right.
But I'll be very interested to see how the baseball programs are at that school. Come on. All right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
J.J. LaSelva, who hails from Central Ocala, just picked the Boston Red Sox to go to the World Series. Your thoughts, please?
Love that kid.
Yes. What do you think? I need your thoughts. Boston Red Sox playing in October.
Why spend now? Why spend now when they didn't spend a couple years ago?
Yeah.
It just makes no sense. I mean, give Alex Bregman that amount of money.
I know it.
Who's a good baseball player.
While Mookie Betts
He's on a different. Well, Mookie Betts, J.J. LaSelva weighs 50 pounds more than Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
He's got a stomach fight. So he's like 145 pounds for crying out loud.
Still, you don't trade Mookie Betts. How's Alex Verdugo doing? Is he doing all right?
They gave away a 5-tool 25-year-old for nothing. Right. They just said, "Come take Mookie Betts. Who wants him?" That's when Boston became a small market team.
You're Rick, and listen, nobody knows stupid trades like my team, but that was one of the worst trades ever. To trade Mookie Betts, it was one of the most incredibly you got to be kidding me trades ever. So it was. Right.
It was, but
now I got you in a good mood.
Sure. No, I mean, listen, it's. I'm actually going to talk some baseball tonight. Okay. John Nagowski just wrote his 8th book.
Yeah.
It's he's put together. His research is just impeccable. The greatest matchups of all time. He's got all the numbers. We're talking the big train.
Yeah.
We're talking Walter Johnson against Babe Ruth.
John coming on the show with you?
Yeah.
Love John.
We're talking about Greg Maddux against Tony Gwynn. We're talking about Bob Gibson going up against Frank Robinson and Hank Aaron.
Really?
And not only that, most leadoff home runs of all time. Most grand slams. You know who's hit the most grand slams in the history of Major League Baseball?
Lou Gehrig.
A-Rod hit 2 more. A-Rod hit 25.
Over the 23?
Gehrig had 23.
I did not know that. I did not know
Most 2-run bombs, 3-run bombs, solo shots, 9th-inning home runs. Albert Pujols hit like 150 of his 704 home runs in the very first inning.
How about that?
Okay, I mean, the research that he did is just phenomenal.
Yeah, John Nagowski, by the way, big baseball guy. His son played in the big leagues for a while.
Right.
His son got a cup of coffee, played with the Pirates.
He had a Florida State guy who went around a little bit, but John's always taken a different approach to writing about baseball. He's written a bunch of books on Bob Dylan, which are really good as well. But he's first up tonight at 6:25, and looking forward to setting the table a little bit on some Major League Baseball. Of course, we won't go too far from the Jaguars. John Osher coming up as well.
Before you leave, Alex Lodi's going to be in the big leagues. I don't know if you watched him. I don't know if I'm serious about that. He's going to be in the big leagues. Mm-hmm. He's already 6'2". He's a
big league shortstop.
He's a big, and I don't think I said that earlier. He won't move positions. He will play shortstop in the. You mark my words. How about that night last night?
Oh, something
hitting for the cycle. You hit for the cycle.
Right.
You hit a walk-off granny to beat your rival in your hometown.
How about that?
Is that a pretty good night?
That was a great night. No doubt about it.
Rick Ballou, he goes into the night, and that comes up right now. Folks, that'll do it for our program. Tomorrow, Same bat time, same bat channel. Brett Hastings will be by tomorrow, Sports and Courts. Lee Smith will be by tomorrow to talk all about the PGA Tour. And we're going to be watching hardball. At least I will. JJ will. I don't know what Hays is doing. And we'll be previewing a basketball game. Big show tomorrow. Can't wait to have it. Don't go anywhere. Rick Ballou is next. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank Frangie.